Hey, this is Mark from The Unseen. You're watching Tribal Area DVD Magazine.
Did you enjoy the show tonight?
Yeah, tonight was great. Definitely. It's the first show where in about a week we haven't been sick. Me and our drummer Pat and our bass player Pete have all been sick for the last week. So today we woke up feeling good. So it was good to be able to play without wanting to just go back to sleep as soon as we were done. So yeah, I had a good time. The kids were really into it.
You're touring Europe since I think nearly 2 weeks now?
Yes, since November 2nd, we started our tour in the UK. We did 7 or 8 shows in the UK, and then from there we went into France, and and here we are today. So what is it now? Like the 21st or 24th?
22nd, I think.
22nd? I don't even know.
And how's it been so far, despite being sick?
Despite being sick, it's been amazing. It's been a lot better than we hoped for. It's in Hamburg and Frankfurt were amazing shows. One of our shows in Germany, I forget where, but there was almost 700 kids. So we couldn't believe that there was almost 700 people there to see it. Just us. We never headlined here before, so it's the good shows have outweighed the bad shows a lot.
Yeah, you get a new album out, and it's called Internal Salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us something about the album? Salvation from what, for example?
Basically, it just means in order to get ahead and in order to better yourself, you have to do it yourself. You have to look inside yourself to find the answers. You can't really rely on somebody else to do it for you. We did the record. Most of the songs were written over the last year and a half, 2 years. Actually, the last 2 years, and we recorded it last December. In January actually is when we started recording the record, and it was just a really bad time for the band. We were really excited to make a record, but there was just a lot going on with everybody in the band. Some people were going through relationship breakups and just being broke and not having enough money to pay bills from being gone all the time. Touring, sometimes you make a lot of money, sometimes you make no money. So we could generally make more money if we had real jobs at home, but this is what we want to do. So it just was it was a weird time for the band. Some people thought about leaving, and and everyone was just mentally and physically exhausted from 3 years of nonstop touring. So when we went in to do the record and we did it, it was a weird vibe. And I think some of the songs came out a little mellower and maybe a little more depressing than they would if we weren't in the mood that we were in when we did it. So, but now everyone's happy, so it's all good.
There's a book out about The Unseen. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, that was written by our bass player, and it was basically all him. The rest of the band didn't really have anything to do with it, so I can't speak, too much about it because I didn't write it. But it's basically just talks his view on, traveling and touring with The Unseen for 8 or 9 years. Just some of the places we've been and some of the trouble we've gotten into and some of the hardships and some of the good, the good times, the bad times. It just sums everything up. So it's definitely worth reading. It's a pretty short book, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're into punk rock or The Unseen especially.
I saw on your back you got a badge from a horror movie called The Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
You are very into horror movies?
Yeah, I like horror movies a lot. Ever since I was a little kid, I get a bunch of horror movie stuff on me. Vampire patch. This tattoo is kind of based on the movie Salem's Lot, and my whole sleeve over here is about a sci-fi show called The Twilight Zone. I don't know if you guys get that over here, but it's a show from the 1950s and 60s in America. It was just kind of just a show about, it was kind of ahead of its time. It's just a bunch of stuff about, traveling into space and just all kinds of sci-fi stuff. Do you guys have the Twilight Zone here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm through. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This song's about the end of the world. It's called Right Before Your Eyes.